Alright, so now we're going to lay down the mud pan. Since if you did all the drywall and stuff first, make sure that you vacuum, sweep, whatever, to make sure that this is all good and clean. And also, you measure, like I did just a bit ago, the height that I want, and I have these little lines all the way around. So what we'll do is we're going to start out at the edge. So this cat, your drain, is going to want to be about, some people do 1 1/4 tall, 1 1/2 tall, whatever. So what I do is I start out an edge, pack it to my line, which is about 2 2/4, I think it's 2 1/2, and then I'm going to pack around my drain. And your drain, you need to get some little pebbles or spacers to put around there. That way you open up the weep, so weep holes don't get clogged up. So I'm going to do the corners, the edges, and then pack around the drain. And then I'll use a board and a level and put it basically on top of that bed where that line is, all the way down here to my drain, and I'm just going to pack in underneath it, so that helps me know that I have this slope going, if that makes sense. I'll show you as we go here. So make sure it's clean. I like this square because I'll probably get the same tiles that are the same size, so it'll be less cutting whenever I tile. I can just stack them next and on top, yada yada, hopefully. Also, whenever you get your mud bed in here, before it dries, whenever you're all done, you're going to want to turn this thing up higher a little bit. That way, because whenever you put your tile on, you don't want it to just be a big old, 1/4, 1/2 inch drop down to this. So I'll end up turning it up about 1/8 of an inch to make it to where it doesn't drop so hard, whenever you're taking a shower and you don't have a big divot right here where the drain is. One last tidbit about your whole slope here. Sorry for the shaking. So, if you did a good pre-slope, you really don't have to have the slope on top. Example, so you got the pre-slope on your floor already. Well, you put this liner on, it's going to be sloping since it's already sloping underneath the floor. So, example, as you can see that bubble there, it's already sloping. So you don't necessarily need, you can literally do it 1 1/2 or 1 1/4 inches all the way. I still add just a little bit of a slope though, just to be safe. So, to each their own. Okay, so things you'll need. Here are those little pebbles we'll put around the drain. I just use a small trowel to help pack it in. A couple little boards to help make sure everything's sloping right. Then your sand topping mix. For a normal shower, it'll take about, which mine's about normal, like 5 feet by 30 inches, something like 30 inches, I believe. Sand topping mix, and it'll take about 3 to 4 of these. So what I recommend is pouring the water in first. At least some water. And then you're going to want it to be a little bit dry. And then add in this mix as you go, little by little. I probably do like 1/3 of the bag, 1/2 a bag, and keep going. So you want this stuff fairly dry. I mean, not too dry. You want to be able to form it, but clumps in your hand, that's pretty good. So again, first step will be just putting it in the corners, and once you get it in the corners here, just literally beat the hell out of it. take some, toss it up, get it around that height that you want it. When you press down and beat it up, you'll notice that it's going to move down some because you're really packing it in. Move on to the other walls. Hopefully you can see how much it's going. So now I'm getting closer to the holes here. I'm going to pack some gravel or some rocks. And around my drain. We're going to take some mud and pack it in here too. Really pack it in tight. So it's all packed in here nice and tight. So now we'll move on to leveling. Now when you made your lines on these corners over here, so it's further from that wall to the drain than, and this is shorter to the drain. So we're gonna slope down just a little bit here. So now I take that piece of wood, so it's on the edge of the drain, all the way back to the wall. And you can see underneath there's where I need to fill in to make it an even slope. So that's what you want to do. You can either pack this all in there, and then you can pack this all high, and then take this dude and just kind of run them across to hit all the high spots, or you can just try to make it level underneath it. Okay, so when I have this up on the drain, as you can see, it's kind of sliding up on the drain, and on this end, it's up. So you just want to put pressure. And as you can see, I'm kind of shaving some of this off, like cutting through it, shaving it. And you can see this is level. This is on the drain. That side's still up, so I'll come up to closer to up here. Shape it off. And now it's getting more and more level, so we'll keep going through and shaping it off until this thing's laying flat. And also, when you're doing this and going around, if you put pressure on this end and pressure on that end and just move it around, that will trim it off easier. Now once you're doing this and you get down to around this level, you'll be able to tell more of what all needs to be trimmed up. So you'll be able to, it'll give you a better idea. Make sure it's all packed in there deep, but you'll be able to know around what level this everything needs to be. So it'll make it easier. And when you've leveled that out, I still got a spot I need to go over and make smooth right here, but you can get out your level, check it's on an incline, see how far, see how far you got. You can do that to make sure you got the slope, and then just try to get as many imperfections as you can. I mean, if you have these little lines, if you have a couple little lines, that's okay. You can sand those down tomorrow, but try to make them as smooth as you can.